The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
Men, Japan needs you. Japan is calling specifically for black men. I know you were saying why, Tasha. They say they need babies, and black men tend to make a lot of them. After South Korea proposed last week $75,000 per baby that a family has, Japan is in desperate need. Okay.
I don't know how I feel about the way she said that. That seemed kind of like a shot. How are we feeling about that?
And they are calling all black men, specifically immigrants, to come and impregnate their women so that they can save their dying population.
So let me not get caught up.
I don't understand because, black men were once and still is on the inner side of the line, which means their lives. I mean, what are you going to guarantee us if we send our men over there to help save you? Could you imagine? Think about this. After everything they put us through, everything, y'all trying to take these men out. Now you need them to repopulate the earth? The United States is responsible for what's going on over there in Japan. Why should we be held responsible? And get this, they ain't even paying no money to do it. They're just saying, please, black men, immigrants, please come have babies without women.
The antebellum period of American history is characterized by disturbing slavery. Its entirely economic output was dependent on slave labor and the reduction of persons into property. Yet at the turn of the 19th century, the transatlantic slave trade saw huge opposition. Acquiring slaves was no longer an option for colonial powers, so there had to be other ways.
He says all of a sudden, now that an influx of young black men just got paid billions, everyone's all worried about assets, loyalty, generational wealth, preserving the black man's genetics and keeping the bloodline pure. LOL. Okay, man. And that's basically what it is. It's not about love. It's all about resources.
Yeah. Well, also another huge thing on social media is obviously there's a conversation going around that you gave up your kids and then you went to shake your ass and talked about shaking your ass online. So clear that up for me, or is there something that you want to say to that? Is it true? Is that you gave your kids the CPS and you hit the streets? Like, what's really the tea on that?
Okay, so obviously, yes, I did give my kids to CPS. But it's not to go shake my ass. It's to, give us a better future. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I do got to go shake my ass in Futures King of Diamonds Club and bring home maybe $20,000 or something, best believe I'm going to take that $20,000 and put that into a business, and I'm going to triple that. And I'm going to triple that what I just tripled,
Yeah.
Here we go with the what ifs and all of that kind of stuff. Ma'am, you didn't do that. You just went to go shake your butt in that club, and you didn't start a business and tripled the bag. You didn't do that. You gave up those kids.
Okay. Do you have any kids?
I want to welcome you to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Today we're going to have a controversial show. I love dealing in controversy. I got a lot of people out there in the red pill community that I've been studying for the last month because I was planning on working on this show. I always tell people that I see patterns. I see patterns in people, places, and things all the time. And the red pill community has hit it on the head with what's going on in America, but they haven't quite gotten it yet. Understand something, they're not quite there yet. This is 666. It's a breeding program. I played some shorts earlier how Japan is wanting black men to come over there and breed with their women. And I'm finna break this down for you so you can understand how this breeding program is working. Look at Jesse Owens. Ever since Jesse Owens won the Olympic gold medal, the United States and the West, which is Canada, in Europe has racked up on gold medals. What is a gold medal? What is a silver medal? It's where your country produces the strongest, the fastest people. Look at the football players, the basketball players. We had the dream team. Some of the world's best basketball players, all on one team. Never before seen. Came straight out of America. This is a breeding program that a lot of people don't see. They understand that something is going on in this country, but they just not putting their finger right on it. Look at what 666 is. Let's examine 666. Before we get into the videos, let's examine 666. Every woman that comes on the Kendra G show, whether she's a 5 up, 6, 7, 8, every woman that come on the Kendra G show wants the 666. 80% of the women in this country are going after 15% of the male population. I'm going to say that again for you because you can look up the stats. 80% of the women in America are chasing 15% of the men. Once these men get through with them, they send them back to the rest of the men to become stepfathers, raising somebody else's legacy. But they get the legacy first before they toss these women back. Understand what I'm saying. Read between the lines. This is a breeding program, and it's self-inflicted. Look at slavery days where they used to take the biggest bull, the biggest slave, the biggest field hand, and force him to breed with black women slaves. Even if she was married. In some cases, even if it was his mother or his sister. These were real breeding programs. And of course, we don't have slavery anymore. And of course, I'm not going to just say this is a white man's problem. No. All the women has entered into a self-inflicted breeding program. Let's examine the sixes, the 666. Every woman that comes on Kendra G show wants a man that makes 6 figures or more. That's the first 6. The average man in America makes $45,000 a year. That's almost $50,000 under the 666. Every man cannot make 6 figures. Somebody has to wash cars. Somebody has to cook food in a diner. Somebody has to work in construction. Every man can't make 6 figures. That's the first 6. 6 figures or more. What is that? That's what you call legacy. If you make 6 figures or more, there is no reason at all why you should ever not have a legacy. Legacy is your offspring and how they doing well in life. That's your legacy. Let's look at the second 6. 6 feet tall or better. That's a physical attribute. The average man in America is 5'9" to 5'10". So you just excluded millions of men across the country because you want a man 6 feet or taller. That's the second 6. Physical attributes. The first 6 was wealth. Second 6, physical attributes. Now the third 6, it goes towards the physical too. Some people say the third 6 is 6 inches or better as far as your penis size. Then you got some people say 6-pack means you physically fit. So it varies depending on who says it. But it still goes back to your physical attributes. 666. Every woman never fails. Go on Kendra G's show, any dating show, whether it's a comedy skit or whatever. It's a breeding program. I just played for you a clip of the Japanese government saying they want black men. Think about it now. To come and impregnate their women. This is not a skit. This was some real stuff. They are wanting the genetic code of black men because they've seen for over 50, 60 years how America has produced some of the most dominant in every sports, every competition. And it's mainly because of their physical attributes, the breeding program. Look at Michael Jordan. His sons are over 6 feet tall. His sons do not play in the NBA. But guess what? He has 2 sons. That means the genetic code that made up Michael Jordan might have skipped a generation. But as long as his kids keep producing in life, and as long as his kids get his wealth when he dies, you're going to have wealthy basketball players in the future. Who knows? 20 years from now, you might see somebody saying, that's Michael Jordan's grandson. Man, he looked just like his granddaddy. He dunks like him. Legacy. I'm hoping somebody out there is hearing me. If you fall below the 666, you a throwaway guy. Women might deal with you long enough to get some money out you to help pay some rent, but they're constantly looking for the 666. Understand what I'm saying, people. It's obvious. That's why I played that clip at the beginning about how Japan is searching for men, mostly black men, to come and have babies by their women. You can't make this shit up. Like Kevin Samuels said, you can't make this shit up. I wonder if somebody's hearing me. My lighting's bad, you guys. You got to bear with me. My lighting's bad. I haven't bought a ring light yet. It's coming. You got 80% of the women in this country chasing 15% of the men. And when those men get tired of them and throw them back to the hood, and I'm not just talking about black women. I don't want nobody to say that I'm dissing or downing black women, because that's not what this is. This is all Western women. It's a breeding program, and it's self-inflicted. I'm not finna come up here with no conspiracy theory saying that the government is doing it on purpose, but that's what it is. If you fall below that 666 line, You a victim. You bound to get a black pill. And for those of you who don't know what a black pill is, that's when you with a woman who steps out fooling around with her baby daddy or other men. You fall below that 666 line, there's no telling what might happen. And what's messed up about this whole ordeal is the Passport Brothers. Some of these men have woken up and decided to remove themselves from the 666 breeding program. Totally remove themselves, take their resources and go somewhere else to build a legacy. Instead of taking care of somebody else's legacy. I don't understand how the red pill community, and I've been looking at it, I've been watching it, I've been piecing it together, because like I keep telling people, I see the patterns. I see the patterns so much that when people make innuendos, I was with a woman not too long ago, and she was full of innuendos. Her music she played, slick things she said out of her mouth. I was catching it. I didn't say nothing. She probably thought she was doing something slick. Sometimes you got to throw that bait out there to see who all catches it. Because you want to know who your family, friends, and associates are who take that bait. Because the first thing in your mind is, how did you get the bait? That means you talking to the enemy. How did you get the bait? I tell people all the time, I see patterns in everything. Everything that moves around me. And I experiment sometimes on people. It's strange. But if people slow down with this whole male against female war that's going on in this country, they'll start to see the pattern. It's a breeding program. And if you fall below that 666 line, you are delegated to raising somebody else's legacy. I was just in a relationship like that. I'm a truck driver, as you guys can see. I'm sending all of my money home for rent for a woman I was dating and somebody else's child. And it wasn't the first time. I've dated other baby mamas, women that had kids, treated them like my own, but they wasn't mine. Now let's talk about the drizzle. It's a trap. That's gonna shock some of you, especially you guys that's really into the whole drizzle trying to contest the sprinkle. Drizzle is a trap. It was fun when it first came out. When I saw it on YouTube, I got a good laugh off of it. But they don't understand the trap that they putting themselves in with the whole drizzle. Let me break this down to you how this gonna go. When these women leave high school and get to acting like thoughts, chasing the top 15% earners in this country, these men are running through these women, putting them in running trains on them, putting them in porn. I know because I watch it. You know, putting babies in them, giving them all kinds of trauma. when these women come back to you, they're used to a certain type of lifestyle that you can't give them. So what you're doing is drizzle, I'm not going. Some of these women are getting thousands of dollars in child support. So what's going to happen is you're going to say drizzle. She's going to say, okay, I need a man to help me raise these kids. Because the father, he's above the 666 line. He done moved on. He done married somebody else. So I got to deal with this sucker. Listen how this work, people. She has to deal with this who she think is a sucker. So she might go and buy him an Xbox game, a PlayStation game. She might buy him some rims just to keep him happy. And he think he's doing something with the whole drizzle shit. He's not doing nothing. It's a trap. The best solution that I've seen for the American breeding program is your passport. That's the best solution that I have seen, hands down. Remove yourself altogether. By drizzle coming out is forcing men who fall below the 666 line not to get their passports. Some of these women are going to catch on to that. Okay, baby. In her mind, she like, he a sucker anyway. Okay, I'll buy you that $40 video game. Drizzle. Okay, I'll buy you no rims. Drizzle. You think you've accomplished something. The whole time, she's still sprinkling on your ass. Because you're raising somebody else's legacy. But if you remove yourself from the whole breeding program by getting your passport and going somewhere else, starting a legacy, now what these women gonna do? Guess what they gonna do? That married millionaire that used her and 5 other women, they can't find nobody to occupy their time. You his wingman. If y'all drizzle guys really looked at it, the rich guys that's above the 666 line, they're not drizzling nothing. You don't see them out here talking about drizzle. You know why? Because they still have their choice of the women. You're going to start seeing wealthy men try to shame lesser men with money into leaving and going somewhere else. Because you're his wingman. What is a wingman? The wingman is usually the dumb guy, the goofy guy that hangs with the popular guy to make him look better. If the goofy guy, if he packs up and leaves, he doesn't have a wingman no more. He doesn't have somebody to say, man, take my slack. I'm done with her now. You can have her. The wingman is leaving. They're getting their passports and they're getting the fuck out. They're going to start their legacy somewhere else. You're going to start seeing wealthy men try to shame the other men from leaving. Because they need you. Once they use these women up and toss them back to you, you're not going to be here. So guess who she going to bug? She's going to bug the rich guy. He has a wife. He has a life. He was just using her. So now she's knocking on his door. The other 4 or 5 girls knocking on his door. He doesn't have a wingman to take the slack. Drizzle is a trap. It was fun at the beginning. It was all cool to show these people that you people look stupid. You women look stupid. When you first meet a man, you asking for money to pay your bills. You looking stupid. But as the drizzle keeps going on and on, men are really starting to take it serious. And that's going to lead to problems, because now it's going to lessen people get their passports and leaving. If you fall below that 666 line, you see that arm I got up? It's kind of dark. If you fall below that 666 line, you need to get your passport and get the hell out of here. If you make $45,000 a year, you can go any other place and be treated like a rock star. I read a poem about 20 years ago by Walt Whitman. That poem said, "A pauper at home is treated like a king abroad." And when I read it, it was catchy, but I didn't know what I was reading. I understand it now. You go somewhere else with your $45,000, $50,000, which ain't nothing here, they'll look at you like you crazy. You go somewhere else, you a king. Whenever you can go somewhere where one of your dollars is $56 of their money, you're living like a king. I'm not even talking about the women. I'm going to let other guys do that. The women are beautiful. But whenever you can spend $1 and it equals $56, you're winning. Let's get into the videos.
The antebellum period of American history is characterized by disturbing slavery. Its entirely economic output was dependent on slave labor and the reduction of persons into property. Yet at the turn of the 19th century, the transatlantic slave trade saw huge opposition. Acquiring slaves was no longer an option for colonial powers, so there had to be other ways of breeding farms in antebellum America.
He says all of a sudden, now that an influx of young black men just got paid billions, everyone's all worried about assets, loyalty, generational wealth, preserving the black man's genetics and keeping the bloodline pure. LOL, okay, man. And that's basically what it is. It's not about love, it's all about resources.
He says it's all about resources. It's genetics. Resources, yes, but it's mostly about your genetics. If you fall above that 666 line, which is maybe 15% of the population, I'll give it 18%. You winning in America. And it's not just a black thing, as Charleston White is finna tell you.
Get all the money further in order to make sure the business runs smooth, go get the charity, and the black man will be squabbling with you about your dick.
Facts.
Yeah, black man go squabble with you about your dick. White man will go open charities up, start doing book club and reading shit, making sure she picked the accounting and financial advisor, and the black bitch go be one of the body. Bitch, who is that called? Who is that? So that's why I ain't bullshit.
Let me stop Charleston White right here. I agree with him on this. It's different levels to the 666. When you're not in the hood, and you're practicing 666, when you're not in the hood and you're practicing 666 people, mostly the white women are trying to mix their genetic code with black men, athletes. When you're in the hood, which is a lower level of the 666, they're chasing the dope boys, the scammers, the goons, the goblins. They looking past the guy that's the construction worker. So it's different levels to the 666, but it's still all the same breeding program. Let's get back into it.
She gonna be stuck on the dick part. She ain't gonna never get the financial business aspect of it. So I see why they do that.
Philadelphia Eagles, girlfriends and wives, is going viral from a 2023 Christmas party because, the thing to say now is that black male professional athletes do not like to date or marry black women, and obviously it's a lot of snow bunnies in this photo. Let's just keep it real. But let me ask you a question. How many women in this photo do you think did the Meg Thee Stallion challenge? How many women in this photo do you think did the challenge where they put the phone on the wall and start twerking? How many women in this photo do you think are arguing about 50-50, 60-40, or saying what a man should be? I'm just asking the question. And what a lot of people do not realize is we do not know who was holding these players down when they were in college.
Most men are single and childless. So what's the problem? Fathers are to blame. So if most men are single and childless, right? And you're blaming fathers, and a small amount of men are the ones having the kids. And it's been that way for quite a while, I'm sure.
Listen to what he just said, people. Listen to what he just said. I told you 80% of the women are chasing 15 to 20% of the men. These are the men that's giving these women trauma. Okay? And then when they toss them back to us, we got to deal with the trauma. It's an explosion. Because they are forced to just deal with the common dude. And they don't want to deal with the common dude. Let's get back into this. This is fascinating.
Right? Who's to blame?
Well, I mean, I would love for him to be physically fit because I work out myself. I play a lot of beach volleyball here in LA. So I would like for him to be healthy, tall. I actually lowered my height standard. It was 6'3", but I brought him down to 6 foot. Because I'm 5'11", Kendra. I'm 5'11". So I like taller guys. But I lowered it to 6 foot. So I'm good.
Taller than 6 foot?
I'm sorry?
It used to be, your height requirement used to be taller than 6 feet?
Oh, yeah. I did athletes. Like, my ex-husband's 6'4".
Oh, no, the 6 feet guy. We gotta make a certain amount of money?
Yes. Yes, he does. Yeah, absolutely, Kendra. My standards are very, very high when it comes to that. He needs to be making at least $500,000.
Yeah, well, also another huge thing on social media is obviously there's a conversation going around that you gave up your kids and then you went to shake your ass and talked about shaking your ass online. So clear that up for me, or is there something that you want to say to that? Is it true? Is that you gave your kids CPS and you hit the streets? Like, what's really the tea on that?
Okay, so obviously, yes, I did get my kids to CPS. But it's not to go shake my ass. It's to, give us a better future. So, don't get me wrong. If I do have to go shake my ass in Futures King of Diamonds Club and bring home maybe $20,000 or something, best believe I'm going to take that $20,000 and put that into a good business, and I'm going to triple that. And I'm going to triple that, what I just tripled,
Oh, here we go with the what ifs and all of that kind of stuff. Man, you didn't do that. You just went to go shake your butt in that club, and you didn't start a business and triple the bag. You didn't do that. You gave up those kids and tripled the amount of sorrow and pain that they're going to go through. That's what actually happened.
Let me start. I saw this video. Okay? This woman, her first baby daddy was a dope boy. He died. The second baby daddy that she got twins by is married and is about to have some more kids. She's monkey branching. The first dude dead. The second dude is married and is about to have a baby. So he told her, look, I can't take them kids because I'm finna have some kids. So he basically throwing her back to the wolves, or who they think is the wolves. He basically telling her, go back to the common man. find you a stepfather. She doesn't want to do that. So she running up in Futures Club hoping she can snag another rich guy. This is what's going on. Let's get back into it.
Okay, the people who seem to be so invested, they're not invested enough because they obviously didn't see my videos prior to that, crying out for hours for help. Like, they don't not cry out for years for help. Like, actually, the cops actually called the dads, and a lot of people are like, oh, the dads keep trying to call her and trying to get them. They probably already know that it's viral, but right, literally 20, 30 minutes before I walked into CPS, they was telling the cops, no, we don't want them. The twins that, oh, we don't want them, me and my baby mom, we got kids on the way now, I'm like, why the fuck y'all having more kids? You're not even trying to take care of the ones you got now.
I'll let him discuss it and then I'll come back.
But this is a discussion that we must have. So what is good old MTR talking about? There is an NGO, a non-government organization called Diverting Hate, which is funded by, among others, the Department of Homeland Security. You'll see that written right down here. Who, by the way, should be utilizing our tax dollars to protect or to tighten up our borders, keeping us safe, securing our nation from the very real threats that we are facing. These very competent people over at Diverting Hate, with the support of the DHS, have again put me on a list, crowning me number 2 male supremacist right up here on YouTube. But here goes the actual list right here. You'll see actually had an individual write-up specific to me. The real MTR, the real me able to tourism reviews. That's how you know that they didn't do no research on me, or they just looked at the titles and the thumbnails and made their decision. Because nobody, literally nobody, even the scammers that hit me up on my email that are trying to get me to download something so that they can get into my bank account, even those guys in Nigeria and shit are not calling me the real me able to tourism reviews. Did you guys use a bot to write this? Is a black male content creator in his 30s. I'll turn 39 in a little while. Your boy still look good, doesn't he? Who engages in reaction videos to viral videos from clips on sports networks to celebrity news. His discussions mainly revolve around demeaning the subject in the video, especially if it pertains to women. Now,
I had to stop that right there. MTR is one of the most balanced guys I've seen in the red pill space. Okay? They put him on this list of so-called hating women because he has come close to the truth. They're not going to put me on a list like that because I don't have as many followers as he has. But he's come close to what I was saying about the breeding program. He doesn't talk outright about it, but he calls it out. And he has far more viewers and followers than I got. So they put him on his list to be watched. You got to understand how this is being played out, people. The wealthy, the movers and the shakers, they know what's going on. They don't want to stop it. That's why the rent keep going up high. That's why the food keep going up high. Because it's turning common women into whores. These men are able to produce a super being, almost like what Adolf Hitler was trying to do. But Adolf Hitler was not trying to have black blood in his Aryan nation. That's why he was killing and slaughtering the Jews. Because the Jews are originally from Africa. He wanted a race of blue-eyed, blonde-haired people. Understand this. America, Canada, and Europe is basically doing the same thing. But it's not forced. They're letting people make their own decision or what they think is their own decision. When you got a 19, 20-year-old young woman who's seeing a guy with a Ferrari and he's an NBA player, but she's dating the dude that works at Walmart, he might just want to get some head. She's going to give it up. Forget all them people talking about morals. Forget all them people talking about this and that. This ain't got nothing to do with that. It's economics. It has nothing to do with the church. It has nothing to do with morals. It's economics. She's struggling. Corey Holcomb, the comedian, said it best. He loves a bitch that struggles. Because he knows. He catch one of them struggling, he can give him $200-$300. He can get the draws and he ain't got to see him no more. Let's keep going.
Maggie is Kendra's cousin.
Let me stop this right here. Remember when I said that 80% of the women in America is chasing 15 to 20% of the men, right? There's another 20% of the women out there. These three women fall in that 20% category. Okay? Listen to how this is being played out. You got 80% of the women chasing 15% of the men. So that means there's 20% of the women left over compared to 80% of the men that's left over. 80% of the men have to deal with these women right here. I'm finna play this. This is some crazy stuff.
For sure, she's been on the show a couple times. Now, you actually have passed the amount of times you've been on the show, but everyone's been telling me you were on Baddies, Maggie. What show was you on?
I was on an audition.
What audition for what, Maggie?
The Caribbean one audition. I went to audition.
Did you get the job?
No, but they should just give me the $5,000 because I'm the only broke one. The broke one was the only one there.
Wait, what happened? Tell me about the show. I already know so much, but tell me.
They gave people $5,000 who don't really need it. Entrepreneur, really? I don't know the broke one was there.
Wait, Maggie, get to the middle of the screen. Okay, how do you get the $5,000 though, Maggie?
When they're picking, they're real picky. They're people who work, entrepreneurs, all got all the money. All the broke person who didn't get nothing.
Okay, so you were the real broke person. You needed the $5,000, but what were the requirements? What's the show about?
Pray, you might need to be an entrepreneur and work, probably. That's what I'm giving you.
Okay, again, I'm gonna be honest with you, Maggie. I don't know too much. All I know is the cousins were telling me Maggie was on Baddies. So what was the name of the show?
It was I did audition for the Baddies Caribbean. I went there time.
Oh, Baddies Caribbean?
Baddies Caribbean.
Oh, Baddies Caribbean.
Yeah,
and now is this about
$5,000?
And the winner gets $5,000. And the winner gets $5,000.
They're picking I think 20 or 10 people, I guess. And I wasn't one of them, and I really need money.
Oh, okay. Well, Maggie, when you don't win, you don't get the money.
Well, I need the edge of wouldn't want to get too tired of rich people. That's what they're getting to.
Well, why did you get kicked off the show, Maggie?
I never got kicked on the show. I went to an audition.
Oh, so you didn't make it past the audition?
Yeah, it was an audition. The main thing that was it.
Here we are. Maggie back. She went to audition for a show talking about baddies in the Caribbean. It probably wasn't nothing but Instagram models, drop dead gorgeous women, and Maggie show up in her one-piece bikini. Come on. She said if she was on the show, Maggie said, I auditioned. We're going to let her cook. Because she ain't coming without a bombshell.
I don't want to play this game no more.
There we go.
This.
I am a Uber driver and I also do Uber Eats.
I'm gonna put a pause right there. Remember, people, what I said earlier. You got 20% of the women left over, right? These are 20% of the women don't nobody want. Nobody want these women. Okay? I just showed you this example of the first one. She falls in the 20% category. 80% of the women are chasing 15% of the men. There's 20% of the women left over. These are the women that the majority of the men that the women are not chasing have to deal with. I just showed you the first one. Now here's the second one. This woman right here, you can tell she been used up and tossed back. Let's get into it.
You have your kids, baby?
I have 3 children, 11, 9, and 6.
Okay. Are they married?
Two oldest by one father, so it's 2 fathers, and my youngest is from a different.
Do you have your married?
Yes.
When did you get divorced?
The 2019.
Okay. You was married to one of your children's dads?
To my oldest. To my I have my daughters have the same father, and my son has a different father. So I was married to my daughter's father.
Gotcha. Okay. What's your zodiac sign, Tina?
Pisces.
You want to go tonight, Tina?
Yes.
Okay. Listen. I got Tina, Oklahoma, 43, Pisces. Mom's a 3, by 2 men, one was her ex-husband. She's an Uber driver, Uber Eats. Let's do it, honey. What kind of man are you looking for?
I'm looking for a man who is understandable, who is ready to give me consistent communication, conversation, who is ready to build a healthy friendship that can lead into a serious relationship and maybe down the line marriage, who has a stability together, of course, job, car, his own place. I'm 5'2", so I would want him to be taller than me, and has a relationship with God, and just someone who I am visually attracted to.
Make her stop.
This. I never heard that way.
Hell! Yeah, look at her eyes, man. She Kendra said, "Are you happy to be here?" Moesha, I'm all right, Kendra. We all look at Moesha.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please. We like to believe we provide some education up here. Please take a deep gaze into Boquisha's eyes. Would you please into her, deep into her pupils. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call the 1,000 weenie stare. All right, she is beyond the glaze. Forget going beyond the pain. She's beyond the glaze. All right, she see miles beyond the glaze. She just glazed out. She rolled hard, put away most sweat. And my man in the chat said, "This is happy, Tina." Please tell.
You hear what he just said, people? She was rolled hard and put away wet. Basically, this woman is a 3, 4 at the best. But remember what I said. 80% of the women in this country are chasing 10 to 15% of the men. Those 10 to 15% of the men are playing with these women. A woman like her should have had her a construction worker, a dump truck driver. She should have got married to him and lived happily ever after. She is a part of the 20% now. Because remember, there's 20% of these women left over. The first one, I just showed you, she's the crazy. The second that falls in the 20% category is the woman that slipped up and a high value man banged her, put a baby in her, and then he tossed her away. She probably don't even know who the guy is. So now she done fell back into the 20% category. Let's continue on. This is interesting.
Tell me that was a Bob's Burger reference, please. Yeah. I ain't even gonna talk about the blue hair. Y'all got that. Y'all see it. I ain't gotta say nothing about that. I ain't touching her head, her forehead. I'm gonna let y'all can pick at that meat.
We gonna let her cook.
Okay, how old are you guys?
I am 48.
48. What you do for a living?
I'm a licensed clinical health practitioner.
Now, this is the third woman that falls in the 20% category. I call her the older boss chick. She done worked all her career, accumulated wealth, and now she's out here looking for a man. Don't no man want her. She's ornery. She ain't gonna listen to nobody because she got her own money. Ain't no man for to deal with this. She falls in the 20% category. Remember what I said, people. 80% of the women is chasing 10 to 15% of the men. So that means there's 20% of the women left out here that we got to deal with. She's one of the 20%. The first one was the crazy girl. The second one was the one that was hoeing, got a couple of babies in her, got tossed back, and now you got to deal with this. The older boss chick. Let's hear her. This is crazy.
A licensed what?
Mental health practitioner.
Licensed mental health practitioner. Okay. Do you have any kids?
Yes, I have 4.
How old are your kids?
27, 24, 21, and then I have a 9.
And a 9-year-old?
Yes.
Yeah. But how many men?
I have 2.
Have you been married?
Married once, divorced in 2005.
Gotcha. What kind of looking for a girl?
I am looking for a consistent man. Someone that's consistent, faithful, that's dating. I have one marriage left in me, so married that's having a future as far as married, a provider, yeah, and that's it. I'm spiritual, so they have some spiritual connection. That would be good.
Have you been on the show before? They're telling me you've been on the show before.
No, I've been trying to get on the show since my birthday of last year.
Okay. All right, what are the deal breakers, honey?
Ooh, deal breaker. Fine. So, teeth. Your teeth is not together. You don't have your teeth together. That would be an issue. I would also say someone that is, just abusive, verbally, mentally, physically abusive, and I would say drug addicts.
Okay. So you look a certain way?
No, I prefer someone just in fit, health wise, take care of themselves. I would say height. As far as height, I'm 5'7", so preferably taller.
Okay. What about money? Do you make a certain amount of money?
Money, I would say, gosh, if successfully monetize is important. If potential is good, but you do something with the potential already. And money wise, I would say probably about 125 if possible.
What? Okay.
Remember what I said, people. The average man in America makes $45,000 a year. The average black man makes less than that. She's looking for $120,000, and she's about a 5 at best. Let's continue on.
Yes. Okay.
125. Here we go. Oh.
Time out. Now we gonna get into this. Yeah, 125 with a straight face. And do you see this shirt? You see the shirt, Tribal. You know what time it is. Don't cover your eyes. This ain't Bird Box. Look into the light. Yes. Now she half a hundo. She 50. Because she had kids. But unlike the other sister that was half a hundo, her kid ain't out the house. This is a 50-year-old woman. 48 equals 50. Y'all know the math. She's 50 years old with a 9-year-old or 8-year-old, whatever. I think he's 9. So you gotta take care of that. That's a child. That's a whole kid. And
remember what I said, people. She looking for a man to raise another man's legacy. She 50 years old. She's looking for a man to come in there, beat her box up, and raise somebody else's kid. This is sick.
when you come in dealing with this half-a-hundred woman with her kid that go mess around peeling herself every now and again, you better be making $125,000 coming in. That part.
And so she said that, I immediately was like,
You must pay for water, you son of a... You must pay for grapes, apples, things that God gave us for free.
that was my sentiment, alright?
120, they say it's so smug. You know, a little 120 piece. Minimum gotta be making 120, right? Minimum. That's easy work. Why not?
Man, in the meantime, I want to take this back a second because I halfway missed it. You let us know, Q. If she about
There you have it, people. 666, America's New Day breeding program. I had to give it to you, people, because, like I said, I've been working on this show. I've been scouring the internet, listening to different red pill content, and I've seen the pattern. And it behooves me to understand how come other red pill people haven't seen it. They know something's wrong. That's why you got Drizzle. That's why you got the Passport Brothers. I even have my own crazy stories to tell over the last 12 years dealing with modern women. It's a problem. It's sick work out here. The sisterhood is real. And it's crazy. Well, this is the Daily Read, and I'm out.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Business.